Welcome to Commander Tilt. My name is Clark. Just a little bit about my channel. I do custom commander decks and gameplay videos. This time around, I'm doing a Rush tournament, which is a little different. I usually do commander tournaments, but I decided to give this new format Rush a try. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I built my decks. I started off with red. I thought, 10 life and only 30 cards that burn was going to be the best format, or the very best type of deck. I've pretty much figured the burn deck's going to burn through everybody. So I built the red deck first. I didn't have quite enough burn cards to fill up the whole deck, so there's a few creatures in there, but it's mainly burn spells. And so then when I did my seeding, I actually gave the red deck a bye in the first round because I only could think of 15 decks to build. Then I went ahead and built the black deck second because I had an idea, of all the different types of deck things that black can do. Discard doesn't make much sense in Rush because you can't, you draw 5 new cards each turn, and some of the other strategies from black didn't really make a whole lot of sense either, but I thought Death Touch would be kind of cool and interesting, so I had an idea of how to do black. White, I thought, would be great to do a life gain deck, especially, lifelink and flyers, so I dove right into white as well really early. I think I did the green one next, and the green I went with cats, and that's the deck that is featured in this video. I thought a synergy between cats, maybe I could ramp up those creatures, get them real big, and be able to hit for a bunch of damage. After that, and it's surprising actually, I didn't do the blue decks. That's the last color left. I didn't do the blue ones next. I decided to delve into the dual colored decks because I had this idea that, at first I thought, okay, 12 lands is how you would balance that. I probably have enough 12 dual lands to make it such that I could, have 2-color decks. But then I thought, wait a second, we're drawing 5 new cards each turn. Every turn you're getting 5 cards. By the second turn, you've seen 10 cards, basically a third of your deck. I could just do single basic lands, and they will always come in untapped. And then there's a pretty good chance you're going to hit both colors if you draw a third of your deck. So I went ahead and did several dual color decks, and I didn't think tricolor decks would work very well because honestly there's just not a whole lot of 3-color cards in the 1 and 2 drop slots that would make any sense. But there's actually quite a few 2 drops, for example, and even a few 1 drops in the dual colors that make sense and can really do well. Boros Recruit comes to mind as a 1 drop that can be really efficient because it's a 1/1 for 1, but it also has first strike, so it can defeat many of the other 1/1 for 1 creatures that are going to be out there. So, I actually did the Orzhov deck first because I was really thinking I wanted to try to do an extort deck, and it didn't work out. It didn't have very many extort creatures, but I had plenty of 1 and 2 drops in Orzhov. I did Boros, I want to say second, and then I tried my hand in a couple other colors. And then I finally got around to doing blue, and I discovered there was actually 2 complete blue strategies, flyers and unblockables, because I had quite a few unblockable 1 drops and 2 drops, and I had quite a few 1 drops and 2 drops of flyers. I toyed around with trying to do a wizards deck, but it just didn't work out. I didn't have enough cards to do it. And so I put in some subcategories. One of the decks went kind of tempo, and the other one kind of went counterspelly. So with all that in mind, this is my first go at the Rush format, and I sure hope you enjoy the game. Okay, I rolled a couple dice to see who was going to go first in the Boros deck 1. On my first draw, I was able to drop a Plains. Tapping 1, I get Boros Recruit out, and I pass the turn. On green's first draw, I put down a forest. Tapping it, I play Scrib Sprites, and I'll pass the turn. Draw 5 cards here. I'll untap. I play a mountain. Then, moving to attack, I'll attack with the Boros Recruits. I'll tap 2 for Martial Glory, giving both +3/+0 and the +0/+3 to the Boros Recruit. I deal 4 damage and pass the turn. Untap. I do my 5 draws. You'll notice I cut out part of the drawing here sometimes. Just seems to take too long. And the green passes the turn without a land drop. Alright, Boros gets to draw. put down a Plains, and then tapping 3 for Zerta the Dawnwaker. Moving to combat, I'll swing with the Boros Recruit. Green will block with the Scrib Sprites, but cast Mending Touch, regenerating the Scrib Sprites. At this point, the Boros Recruit should have died, but I just forgot the rules, and it doesn't really affect the outcome very much. Green then gets to untap, draw his cards, get to play a Forest, and then Scrounging Bandar, putting 2 +1/+1 counters on the Cat Monkey. And then I'll pass the turn. Boros untaps. I'll draw my 5 cards. Put down a Mountain for turn. Moving to combat, I'll swing with Zerta. Taking no blocks. The green team goes down to 3. Then I'll tap all my mana for Relentless Raptor and Ceradon Yearling. Pass the turn. Green gets to untap. Green will draw his cards. I get to put down a Forest. I decide to take all of the counters off of the Scrounging Bandar and put it on the Scrib Sprites. I'll put down Initiate's Companion, but then looking at the board, I think to myself, maybe I shouldn't have taken all of the counters off, so I go ahead and put 1 counter on the Scrib Sprites and leave 1 on the Scrounging Bandar, and then I'll pass the turn. Boros gets to untap, draw 5 cards, I'll put down a Mountain, and then all-out swing with all the creatures. Ceradon Yearling has Vigilance, so it doesn't tap when it attacks. And then I'll tap the mana for War Flare. All creatures get +2/+1. And with that, Boros wins the first round. Second game, green gets to put down a Forest, and having no creatures passes the turn. Red puts down a Mountain and a Boros Recruit. Green will go ahead and draw cards and pass with no land or 1-drops. Boros puts down a second Mountain. Didn't draw white mana in that second turn, but it can still attack with the Boros Recruit. Now, green will go ahead and draw 5 cards. Get to put down a second Forest, but all I can play is Scrib Sprites, and I'll pass the turn. I'll draw 5 cards. Forgot to untap. There we go. Untapped. I'll put down Windscarred Crag, gaining a life. One of the few dual lands in any of my decks. I thought 1 life was a pretty good bargain for this deck. Tap 1 red mana for Boros Recruit. Moving to combat, I'll swing for 1 damage. Green takes no blocks, so it's just 1 damage in. Passing the turn, green will go ahead and draw his cards and untap. Put down my 3rd Forest. I'll pass the turn. Got nothing. I'll draw 5 cards. Put down a Plains as my land for turn. Moving to combat, I'll swing with both Boros Recruits. Green will block with the Scrib Sprites, but then playing that same trick, cast Mending Touch, regenerating target creature. Boros will respond with Martial Glory, giving the +3 to the Boros Recruit that got through, and the +3 to defense to the one that got blocked. Pass the turn, green gets to untap and draw cards. Moving to combat, I'll swing with the Scrib Sprites, but then tap 2 mana, 1 for Vines of the Vastwood and a second one to kick it, giving it +4/+4. A flying creature can't be blocked, so that's 5 damage off of the Boros team. Boros will get to untap. After drawing my cards, I play a Plains. Then with no blockers, I'll swing with both Boros Recruits, but only hit for 2 damage. 6-2, it's kind of a close game. I'll tap all my mana for Relentless Raptor and Iroa's Champion. Not so close anymore. Green gets to put down a Forest. Tap 1 mana for Sky Shroud Ranger. Just trying to get some blockers out there. and then 3 more mana I'll tap for Blanchwood Armor. I have 4 forests in play, so the Script Sprites becomes a 5/5. But I'll pass the turn thinking, well, I've got one really big blocker, I'll be able to stop at least something. But then, Boros draws, well, I'll put down a mountain, but Boros draws the game winner. War Leader's Helix does 4 damage automatically, straight to the face, and actually gains 4 life too. With that, Boros wins. There you have it. That is my first Rush video that I've put together, and I'm going to be honest, like I said, that was the actual first games of Rush that I have ever played. A couple of thoughts that I just thought I'd put out to you if you ever decide to play the game. It plays a little different from normal Magic, because unlike normal Magic, you know, when you play normal Magic, you look at your cards and you think, okay, I got a strategy for next turn, and maybe even you've got a strategy for 2 turns down the road. With Rush, you discard your whole hand. So I found myself several times going, okay, I know what I'm going to do next turn. Wait a second, I can't do that. I have to discard all these cards, draw 5 new ones. I actually don't know what I'm going to do. So it makes the format a little more just threat assessment and, you know, on-the-spot planning and less long-term planning, because you just don't have access to know what it is you're going to draw. It makes deck building very important as well, obviously, because you have to be able to have a very well-balanced and tuned deck to be able to draw the right cards. I really appreciate you watching the video. I will put together another one relatively soon. This was really fun and quick, and I have a few surprises for some of the decks I've built, so hopefully you will enjoy the videos. Thank you so much for watching. I do have a Patreon page, and I would love it if you would visit my page and take a look at the rewards that are available. It would help me out a lot. Remember to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you hear about my latest videos. Have a great day.